Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for The Chi. So, again, I'm sorry for those of y'all who saw my recap review on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Y'all know that my videos are late, and a lot has been going on. My job been trying me, but I'm finally on here. So, anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this recap review. So, the episode starts out with Papa and Kevin in their feelings singing a Jagged Edge song. What is that song called? Walked Out of Heaven. And they were at Kevin's house. And I'm like, y'all doing the most. And then they just was getting louder and louder. And Keisha just put the baby down to sleep. And then they woke the baby up. I was like, sir. Now, while she was in the middle of doing all that, Christian, which is the little boy's name, the guy's name, who, really lived for her, he texted her and was like, thinking about you. And so Keisha is always on this deflecting, no, let me kind of like push against it because I can't believe that this dude really liked me like that. So she like, you a lie. And he was just like, I'm not going to waste my time telling you this and pursuing you if I don't really feel the way that I'm telling you that I feel. So anyway, she ends up having to go in there and tell them to turn the music down. They ignored her and turned the music up and kept on acting out the song. And I'm like, okay, both of y'all lost y'all women, calm down. So anyway, Emmett went over to his baby mama house because y'all know that the relationship is over, at least right now, between him and his wife. And the baby ain't there. And so she's trying to figure out, okay, so what you want, what's going on. He gives her the 911, the 411, excuse me, on what's going on. And I say 911, y'all, my job at try me. But anyway, he gives her the 411, if you will. And, she was just like, sir, you better be glad that that's all that's going on. Like, she want to have her fun too. You done had your fun this entire time. Every time you looked up, you was out here fighting and bopping. So how dare you want to sit up here and be in your feelings that now she like, you know what? Ain't no fun. Now that since the rabbit got the gun, now is it? That's what I thought. So he gonna tell her, oh, you looking good. She was like, don't even try it. She finna go out on a date with somebody and she say that he like, the baby is cool with him and all this other stuff, like get along with the child, and she's hopeful that the relationship gonna be all right. And I'm like, okay, you doing the most. Child, Doodah is in his office healing. He's still on the mend and he's talking to Trig. And so he wants to know like what he can really do because people are looking at him and they think one thing. And I'm like, but Doodah. I'm sorry, your mama might have named you Otis, but you're going to forever be Doodah. And the end of this episode continues to prove my point. He is going to be Doodah for forever. So anyway, he gets interrupted while talking to Trig because he was just like, I really want to be a part of Jacob's life and all this other stuff. And, he really has taken a liking, like a genuine, like, interest in Jacob. So when he come in, oh boy, mad. Y'all know it's Gemma, the hoe. Her daddy. And I don't know what's wrong with me, y'all. I'm so like, I really had a blind moment this whole entire time. I didn't even realize that man was Gemma's daddy until this episode. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyway, he barged in the room and he upset. And he was like, this is the problem. And like he done went off, showed him a newspaper article because they have lost the possible bid to be able to be the host state for the Olympics. And he looking like, and why am I supposed to care? I ain't care nothing about that, no way. And so he was like, you should care about it or whatever. So then Trig trying to run after him and talk to him. He was like, look, man, he really trying to make change in the community, whatever. He was like, nah, he just in a suit. I was like, no, don't do this. So anyway, like he really trying to get him to open his eyes because I'm like, he know who Doodah is, but it's like, do you remember who Doodah is? Because I don't feel like you seen Doodah in a while. Calm down. He done got shot here a little soft at this moment, but trust me, he on the mend. So Y'all, Emmett went to see his mama, and old girl actually gave her a nice scarf to have him to deliver to her. And so she was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." He ended up telling his mama that he had a heart to heart with her, and it went really, really nice. And he was just like, and I wasn't trying to, talk to her sideways. It really went well. And he was an adult about it. And so his mama was even like, "I never thought I would see the day. Wow." So he got to go to work. And so he was like, "Well, let me know if you need anything, call me." And so she was like, "Well, I will after I call Swade. If I can't get him, then I call you." Child, she do anything to get up on this kid. I'm here for it though. Swade is everything though. He lives for her. I am here for it. So anyway, Doodah wants Trig to like basically kind of fit in with what he has going on. So he was like, "I ain't trying to wear no suit and all this other stuff." So anyway, he's giving him the update on what Jacob has going on. He looking at him like, "What? He dating Gemma? I thought that was Kevin's girl." He was like, "Yeah, it was." So he over here living for it. I'm like, you would live for that Doodah. But anyway, child. So when sit down. So anyway, forget all that. Darnell, whatever his name Darnell, y'all. Emmett's daddy, he went over, like everybody is having their moments with Jada. And so they having a moment and they enjoying themselves, and they're talking about, how raising him was, and, he wasn't there obviously, and it just was what it was. So I like how their relationship is now, because it went from her like 100% hating him because he wasn't around to they really get along now. Like, and they used to have their ups and downs and all that because they've had so much time that they've been around each other. And so it gets to a point where she was like, "All right, I think I need me a good old foot massage." And so he over here looking like, "You really gonna sit up here and take advantage of you having cancer, huh?" And so he gonna bring up, "Don't you got a massage therapist boyfriend that could do this for you?" And all that. So they having their little moment. Well, the line is out the door and around the corner at Smokies or whatever they call it now, the place that it owns and operates. Papa wants to be like an assistant manager or something like that. And so he was like, you say you want the assistant manager's position. You need to go ahead and learn how to deal with the after school rush. So I'm talking about everybody is just like, bruh, come on now. Well, y'all know that when Keisha comes over there, she get food for free. So she came in and they're about to have a little conversation. He's actually in the middle of looking at homes. And she was like, "Oh, that's cool that you about to look for a house, that you're looking for a house for you and Tiffany." He was like, "Actually, the house is for my mama." And so, he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." Well, she don't know that yet. She gonna find that out later on. Well, the dance is still coming up. That spring, whatever they call it. Like, they call it all kinds of different things wherever you go. That dance is coming up. And Doodah wanted to help put in on like getting a car service or renting or getting a car for him. And so Trig was like, "No, I got it." So he ended up telling him that he could drive the car. And I'm like, I didn't know he had a license or a permit or whatever, but okay then. So anyway, he let him get the car. So I don't know for how long of a period he's had the car, but late at night, that same night when he gave him the keys to the vehicle, he rolled up on Papa and Kevin while they were outside of the back part of Smokies and picked him up. They smoked a little weed. And so he was like, "Yeah, I'm about to take Gemma to the dance and this." And so even though Kevin was in his feelings about it, he engaged in the conversation. And so both of them told him, "You need to do something about this car. You need to clean it, wash it. It smells like trash, cigarette smoke, weed. Like, it smells exactly how it looks. It's trash all over the car and it's dirty." So he was like, "Okay." So later on, we see where he is going to, whether actually he's going to take heed or not. Well, Gemma is having a conversation with her daddy, and she has decided that she's not going to take and she doesn't care about certain test scores anymore. And so she was like, "I don't care about all that. If I go to college, I'm going to go and that shouldn't matter about those specific test scores. So he is instantly thinking that the reason why she don't care about studying for certain things anymore, especially the standardized testing, is because of Jacob. She thinks that his influence, he thinks that his influence is the reason why she acting the way she acting now. And she was just like, nah, that's the way I've been thinking. Like, nah, a lot of stuff has just opened her eyes to it, and we already know how it go. So they're just having their daddy-daughter time and eating together. Well, Kevin is in his feelings. He ain't got no woman. He ain't got nowhere to go. He kicked out of school, and he is playing that video game. Well, he ends up seeing that, I think her name is Lene. He sees that she got online and she's playing the game, so he called her and was like, where you been at? And so she was like, responded to him or whatever. And he is playing very bad because he's in his feelings. And the day of the actual dance is upon them. It's coming. And so they link up later on. Well, Keisha told Emmett that, maybe like the following day she would be able to go with him to go look at the house. So they went and looked at the house. They were having an open house or whatever they call a viewing or whatever. And there were other couples in there looking at it, and she brought the baby with her. And when the realtor came over there, he was like, what would be able to strengthen my chances of being able to secure this house? She straight up told her, you have to put in a cash offer. Like, because there is not that much wiggle room as far as the pricing is concerned. And so it was like, look, that's the best way you can do it. Put in a cash offer. And then the woman recognized Keisha, told her that she's an inspiration and all this other stuff. And, before she could even get to that part, he was like, she don't like talking about that. And so she was just like, I just want to tell you that you're an inspiration. And she don't really know how to take that because she never really looked at it like that. She's just seen the victim side where people look at her and are instantly like, oh man, look what happened to her. Dang. And then look at that baby. Oh, he got her pregnant or whatever. And that's how people view it. Anyway, Kevin and Lene end up eventually doing an impromptu, let's go over here and see what these white kids and these raggedy people doing over here at the ball, these cheesy people or whatever. And what's that man name? Darnell said that he's going to cook for his ex. And so apparently he does a great job. So I'm like, okay, do what you do. Let's see. Douda appeared not long after they had taken pictures of Gemma and Jacob. And it was just to the point where you could just really feel the darkness and all that into the room. The tension was very thick because it's like you want to have dealings with Jacob, but Jacob is dealing with Gemma's daddy. And you would have to deal with his daddy because Jacob dealing with Gemma. And old boy just walked out of your office and said, F you and some more because he's sick and tired of your foolishness. And you feel like he disrespectful. It's just like, you want a lot, but it's just too much going. Y'all, woo, child. So they had literally just taken pictures. And so he was like, yeah, let me take some pictures. And so Trig, like, to kind of like make sure the situation don't go sideways, he was like, I airdropped some pictures to you. We just took pictures or whatever. I was like, woo, child. Well, Octavia met up with Keisha and actually gave her a lot of baby stuff that she needed. And she was like, I really needed that. Tabitha Brown was doing what Tabitha Brown does. Y'all know I live for Tabitha Brown. And she thanked her for, being who she is and all this other stuff. She actually gave her a card, and she gave her a picture, and it was the picture that they took of her when she first got the baby, and she told her that she wanted her to have it. It was really, really sweet. So I really had been trying to figure out for the longest, like, what are they going to do with Tabitha Brown? Because they make it seem like she going to be around for a while. And I'm like, how though? But yeah, Keisha is kind of feeling some type of way because she really felt like this woman was going to resent her, but that's just not in her spirit to be that way. And so, she's just encouraging her and asks her what does she want to be and all this other stuff. And so Keisha feels as though she cannot go to school and do any of the things that she had dreams of doing before all of this stuff happened to her. She had to tell her, you can do this stuff. It might take a little bit longer, but you can do it. So I'm just like, you better encourage her like you do in real life. Tabitha, yes! Got my entire life. Well, they are going to have a family dinner. They, meaning Emmett, Jada, and Darnell. So he over here, like, it's still kind of busy at the spot, and he trying to tell him, I need you to lock up, make sure you put the alarm on, all this other stuff, and it was just a lot. And so Papa looking like, what you mean? Where you finna go? I'm like, Lord, please don't let this place get broken into. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, they at the function, and Lene and Kevin look over and they see Gemma and Jacob dancing and all this other stuff, and they eventually leave out because he forgot his bag that has weed in it, and he like, yeah, I need to go back and get that. Child, I was like, Lord, somebody please no. So he was like, no, I got to go back and get it. So she was like, well, if we leave, we're going to miss so much of the dance. And he was like, if we stay and your daddy find that bag. And so she was like, oh yeah, you're right. So they leave out to go retrieve the bag. Meanwhile, at the house, Doodah and her daddy done got into it and was like, you need to keep my daughter's name up out your mouth. Like, child, Doodah came up all the way from all the way up out of the grave where he keep on trying to bury him, which he gonna continue to be Doodah. He beat that man all the way down to the ground. Do you hear me? He beat that man so bad with his cane, continuously beat him, and he's bleeding out. Trig outside, and he overhear the situation. Child, he run in there trying to figure out. He was like, what did you do? We got to get him to a hospital. We got to call. He over here trying to call an ambulance. He told him, if you call an ambulance, no. Like, basically told him, you're going to have to make a choice. So he run in the house. Doodah just sitting there, taking him a little sip of some alcoholic beverage while he over there bleeding out on the floor, his soul leaving his body. And he over here trying to get this man lies. That man is going to die. Child, I cannot. So anyway, Jacob pull up outside and he trying to figure out what he gonna conjure up to lie and say as to the reason why he came back to the house and hope that didn't nobody notice the bag. Well, he go in the house, he see her daddy on the floor, Jacob in there. I'm just like, oh Lord, Doodah sitting over there. I'm like, sir, you are still wiping blood off of the cane. I cannot. Child. He didn't even need no excuse. He got back in the car and was like, made it seem like everything was all right. Of course he didn't tell Gemma about none of this stuff going on. Child, it's just too much. So anyway, Lene and Kevin are now leaving the little dance situation because they had on regular clothes. They just wanted to look at the folks and go on about their business. Well, we find out that Lene is in a terrible situation. She does not know where she's going to live, and the person who she'd been living with, they had been gone for so long, and they really aren't where they're supposed to be, and it's like she kind of lives from pillar to post. Let's just put it like that. Well, Kevin ended up inviting her over to the house, and he made a little pallet for himself to be on the floor and gave her the bed. I don't know if we are supposed to infer that he asked his mama and stepmama, but if I'm not mistaken, that they are out trying to get their lives together after finding out all this stuff that went on, that the wife cheated on her and all this other stuff. Like, I don't know where they at right now, but y'all know they be missing in action a lot. But yeah, it's a lot. But it's to the point where, he's trying to be respectful. Well, she gets down on the floor and just lays next to him. Then she turns over and kisses him. And then it just is what it is. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now you like him? Okay. Or are you kissing him because you're grateful that you have a place to stay, at least for tonight? Child, like I told you, about Doodah. He basically was just like, let him die. I was like, sir, you done did the most. But yeah, that's the way it all ended, y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the recap review for The Chi. I enjoyed the episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyway, hopefully y'all are being safe out there. Definitely stay cool because it is ridiculously hot out here in these streets. I had to leave out twice today. I ain't doing it no more. Anyway, y'all be safe. I'll see y'all later on.